Hey folks, this lesson, multiplying and dividing rational expressions. This is, I think, a little easier than adding and subtracting. At least I find my students find this easier. Anyway, so here's our question. How do we multiply and divide rational expressions? Isn't that original there? Okay, so here we go. So let's go ahead and simplify these expressions. So I tell my students, when you see polynomials, start factoring, and 99% of the time you're on the right path. Okay, so this is a difference of squares, x squared minus 3 squared. So this would become x plus 3, x minus 3. Factors of negative 15 to add to negative 2 are negative 5 times a positive 3. Okay, so there that is. And then hopefully you can see that these x plus 3's will cancel right there. Okay, now, so here's our simplified version right here. Now, also in your directions, it'll say state the excluded values on that. So there's our simplified version. And so the excluded values would be x equals plus or minus 3, because that was what would give us 0 in this denominator right here. So you can say this: the excluded values are plus or minus 3, or you can just say x does not equal plus or minus 3. That means the same thing. All right, so let's go ahead and factor. This is a perfect square trinomial. This is 4 times 4, so since it's negative, it's going to be negative 4 times negative 4, or negative x minus 4 squared. Chances are that's going to be in the denominator. Factors of negative 24 that add to 2 are plus 6 and minus 4, so there we go. And then this x minus 4 will cancel out one of these x minus 4, so when we do that, we get that. And then don't forget your excluded values. X can't equal negative 6 because it would give this guy 0. X can't equal 4 because it would give this one 0, and you can't have 0 in the denominator. All right. Okay, so here let's GCF out a 40, a 20 on top and a 10 on bottom, okay? All right, so 10 goes into 20 two times, so that's the only thing that does reduce right there. And then remember your excluded values right there, okay? All right, so here we're going to pull a 2x out on top and on bottom. That's a pretty easy guessing and checking one. So I know this is 3x times x, and this is 5 times 1. So if we pair up the 3 and the 5 as our two outers right there, and then the inners will be the 1 and the x on there, then that'll give us that plus 16 in the middle. Okay, so we have x plus 5's canceling right there, and don't forget your excluded values. Okay, all right, so here now in your textbook it says find the product. Okay, so here's a big fat multiplication symbol, and that is one right there. It's we're right close to Thanksgiving, so it's eating lots of turkey. Oh, never mind. All right, so let's go ahead and cancel, you guys. We can cancel lots of things, you guys. How did I do this? I forgot which order I did this. Oh, yeah, okay. So this 2 times 4 on bottom is 8. It took out the 8 on top. And what else did I do? I think I did these y's next, or maybe I did the x's next. Let's see. Oops, I did the x's next. Okay, so this 1x took away two of these, or one of these, so there's 2 left. And then there's 3 y's downstairs, so I think I just knocked off those 3 y's right there. Yeah, and then what are we left with? Nothing's on bottom except a bunch of 1's, and so 8 x squared, and we got a y, and then, no, we don't have an 8 anymore, we only have that 7, but we do have an x to the 4th that will pair up with this x squared. So I'm seeing 7x to the 6th, because you add those exponents and don't forget the y. Okay, and your excluded values. Okay, here we go. Okay, remember when you, back in grade school when you were dividing fractions, I called it keep, change, flip. We keep this fraction, we change that to a multiplication, and we flip, keep, change, flip. Okay, so that's all we did, and then we can start cross canceling there. So the 6 goes into 48. Let's see, the 4 y's, I took off 3 upstairs, and then one more makes 4, took off all 4 downstairs. And then I don't know how I did these x's. There's a couple of ways you can do this correctly. I'm not sure what I did, but anyways, oh, I did these 3 x's here, took away 3 of the 5, so there's 2 left right there. And what are we left with? 8 x squared is x to the 4th, and we're left over the y squared, I think. Yep. Okay. All right, so here, let's go ahead and factor. You can pull a 3x out on top, and here factors of -5 that add to 4 are 5 and -1. Factors of this that add to this are 5 and -4. And let's see what we can do there. So there's everything factored right there. All right, now these three x's cancel. I think I color coded these right here, so I did these in purple, and I'm sorry about that, you guys. So it's hard to see, but can you see 1 minus x and x minus 1? Do you remember that trick we were talking about the other day? These are -1s of each other, so they can cancel, but all of a sudden a -1 appears, and these three x's will cancel, and this x plus 5 and this x plus 5. Just remember, those are -1, so you can cancel them, but a -1 appears in. Okay, so we're left with the -1 and the x minus 4, so that you can distribute the negative through if you want, either way. Okay, and then your excluded values. 0 would make this guy 0, -5, and then +1 right there. Okay, all right. A few more here, you guys. Okay, let's see. This is x cubed plus 2 cubed. So when we have a sum of cubes or difference of cubes, then we SOAP it. Do we remember that? We do a binomial times a trinomial, and then we SOAP it. The S stands for same sign, so the same sign as this. This is the opposite sign, and this is always positive or always plus, okay? So bi times a tri, let's do that right there, okay? And then I made this over 1 right there, and then the things that are being cubed goes in the bi, so x plus 2 goes in there. All right, and then square the x, so x squared goes here, square the 2, 2 squared is 4, goes there, and then we multiply these two guys. X times 2 goes in the middle, so 2x goes in the middle. Okay, and then, whoops, I didn't cancel that out. So the x squared minus 2x plus 4 cancels that x squared minus 2x plus 4. And of course we're left with this over this. Now this we can never make equal to 0. When you have a sum of cubes or difference of cubes, that trinomial part will never equal 0. It gives you the imaginary numbers. So we don't have to worry about those guys there. But anyways, we can't have x being -2 right there, because that would make that 0 right there. Okay, two more. Okay, so here let's go ahead and flip it first, keep, change, flip. Okay, and then let's start factoring. Okay, so there's everything all factored, and then we can color code them here, and we can see that the x minus 7s will cancel, the x plus 3s will cancel, the x plus 10s will cancel, and we're left with x minus 10 over 5. Real common algebra 1 error or integrated math 1 error is kids want to cancel these. You can't cancel them because of that minus sign right there. If it was a multiplication sign, I could cancel, but I can't. Okay, and then all our excluded values. All right, Mrmaths. Okay, so let's keep, change, flip. This is over 1, so I'm going to flip it and factor it at the same time. Okay, so put the 1 on top. I GCF'd an x out. Okay, and then this conveniently factors to 3x minus 2 times x plus 5. Okay, these guys cancel. I don't think anything else cancels, and this x is going to combine with this x squared, so we get x cubed on bottom. Let's cancel those. And there's our answer and our excluded values. And if you are in my class, I'm going to give you that. Take care.